Going on, everybody? Culturedog Sam Hatch back here with another video. Just going to talk about quickly the topic of the whole new deluxifying of megaplexes, which is something that's happening more recently in my neck of the woods and is probably far more implemented depending on where you are, and probably big cities, New York and Los Angeles. This is old news, but it's just become a more local thing for me, so I thought maybe I'd drop some thoughts on it and see where you guys stand on this whole thing too. But yeah, a lot of my local chain cinemas are closing down and renovating, which is nothing new. They've done it before. Like there was one period when they installed like a director's hall with leather seats and everything, but they're really taking it a step further and installing the kind of deluxe package and everything now. So now there are mega wide cinema loungers with electronic reclining and like massage features, etc. And so they built this tiered stadium to account for them, and they now have far less available seating in each auditorium. So I've been to two of these theaters locally. The one I was at today actually had this interesting thing where each super wide lounger was paired with another one, and there was like a shared foldable armrest in the middle that you could fold down, or you could fold it up if you're with somebody that you want to snuggle with or whatever. So that was interesting. But the one I had been to even more locally before to see Halloween, that one just had very individualized mega loungers, but also had this folding snack tray table, which was pretty interesting. And everything was laid out pretty well, and the buttons were lit up so you could see them. From my end, reclining is just not something I'm going to be doing at a movie theater. I mean, I know the idea is to once again compete with the home viewing experience, much like widescreen CinemaScope was a way to compete with television back in the day. There's always that drive to engineer a new way to get people out of their home and into cinemas. So this is definitely one technique that's interesting. I do appreciate the overall plushness of these seats. When I was watching Halloween, I was just realizing how comfortable they were, which was good and bad to a sense. But yeah, I just can't quite engage with the whole reclining fully. I mean, there was always that kind of airplane mode, like slight recline built into the seats in most modern movie theaters. So yeah, that was, I'd lean back a little bit, but yeah, I'm never going to get to the point where I'm going to pop my feet up and really kick back, and that's just going to invite, I think, people to fall asleep. So, but I did notice a lot of other people in my rows were, using the feature. So, yeah, that's just nothing I'm looking for in a movie theater facility. The other thing was, my wife was complaining about her being shorter than I am, that the huge design of these things creates this situation where it's like, the big blue chair. You're just this kind of childlike creature dwarfed on this big, expanse of leather. So her feet can't even touch the ground. So then that like forces her to contemplate reclining, just to give her feet something to do. But she doesn't want to recline either because of the same, invitation to sleeping in the film. So yeah, it's kind of got some pluses and minuses. I was the biggest fan of the stupid swiveling snack tray table at the theater really close to me. I like that. Even if I wasn't eating on it, I could just kind of prop up my hands or do something with my hands. So that was kind of my favorite thing of the bunch. That and just the overall comfortable aspect of the seats. So it's interesting. And yeah, the house I was in today, I think, only had 48 seat capacity. So it's really shrinking the availability of seats. But on the plus side, they are assigned too, so you could theoretically roll in late and kick people out of them. We'll see how that kind of pans out. I know when the IMAX screens were kind of injected into the multiplexes locally, that was the big thing at first too, was that they're assigned seats, etc. And they would always have an usher on hand to guide you to your seats, and I've noticed they got far lazier about that as time went on, because they want to automate the experience as much as possible at theaters and have as little staff as possible doing things so that they would get paid. So even now, when they re-implemented this assigned seating in the terms of the deluxe cinemas, there's usually just a guy that looks at your ticket and goes, "Yep, it's in whatever row and seat number that is printed on your ticket. Have fun." So it may just end up becoming a kind of free-for-all or something. So you might have to like call a manager over if somebody's squatting in your seat. I haven't really had too many of those problems, but I've seen it go down in IMAX theaters before. But I do appreciate at least the possibility that you could buy your seat ahead of time and then just roll in 5 minutes before screening if you want to skip all that Nuvi BS and all the forced advertising, etc. So that aspect is cool. I don't know. I mean, ticket prices didn't go up because of it, so that's okay. But yeah, what do you guys think about it? How has this affected your cinema going experience overall, or has it not, etc.? But yeah, it's definitely a different kind of vibe going in there now, and I haven't fallen asleep yet, so that's good. But I don't know. It's somebody was mentioning the comparison to WALL-E, the WALL-Eization of society, as we're becoming more and more comfortable publicly to ridiculous extremes to eventually we'll just be in these big floating recliner pods or something. So we'll see. But at least it's interesting that the cinemas are putting an effort into renovating the theaters or adding some sort of value to the theaters instead of just letting them rot as they used to do back in the day when I used to hit my local megaplex in the early 80s, etc. That's about it. Nothing else. Just figure out, see what you guys think below. And happy film going. Cheers.